to believe it. Set my intentions now, watch me achieve them. Cause I know I'll always depend on me. Yeah, I'm busy loving myself, putting me first. Now that I know I deserve more, I'm busy loving myself, putting me first. In case you didn't know, I'm busy loving myself, putting me first. Hey guys, welcome to the workshop. Welcome to the workshop. We're going to go ahead and get started here shortly. This is to learn how to put yourself first workshop. Yeah, I know that love will be fun, but I'll be fine without you. Yeah. Not gonna let a man tell me what I can or I can't do. Oh, I know that love will be fun, but I'll be fine without you, yeah. Cause I'm busy loving myself. As you come onto the call, go ahead in the chat and put where you're coming in from. Putting me first. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome to the How to Put Yourself First Self-Improvement Workshop. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started right off the bat. Wanted to play that song for you guys so that you hear a song about self-care, about putting yourself first, about making sure that you are the priority to your life. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I am the one and only Coach Nat Martin. I am a transformation coach and motivational speaker focusing on resiliency and leadership development. I'm here to help you reclaim your power, transform your life to put yourself first. So one of the questions that I always get is like, putting yourself first. What does that mean? We're going to actually dive deep into all of the whys. Why do I need to put myself first? Why don't I put myself first? How do I put myself first? And what is the outcome if I do it? And then, of course, if you start to put yourself first, we're going to dive into how do you sustain it? Because one of the key important ingredients is that putting yourself first simply means that you love yourself. You love yourself enough to want more. You love yourself enough to treat yourself as such. You love yourself enough to hold yourself to a certain standard and a value. So I'm going to teach you guys on how to exactly incorporate that into your life. Like, you want to make sure that we say we love ourselves, right? But how much do we love ourselves? Because in the end of the day, if no one, if we say I love ourselves, right? I love myself. And most people say, of course, Nat, I love myself. However, do you truly resonate with love? Do you show yourself love? Do you treat yourself with love? So we're going to dive into it. Oh, 1 second. Slide. It jumped all the way to the end. It's trying to fast forward before me. Technology at its greatest. Okay. So why is it important to put yourself first? So the first thing is that you want to allow yourself to take care of yourself. You want to make sure that you are tuned in with your emotional and your physical needs. A lot of times we focus on one part. Everybody knows that wellness is about just not your physical well-being. It's about your emotional state, your mental state, your spiritual state. So in order to take care of yourself, if you're focusing in one area, that's not going to give you the product and the results that you're looking for. When you focus in one area, and that one area, when people hear self-care, they think about your physical fitness. They think about your physical health. They think about, making sure your outer appearance is taken care of. But the most important product of everything is your inner appearance. It's about, how are you emotionally? Can you manage your emotions? How are you spiritually? Are you connected with self? Are you connected with a higher being? How are you connecting? And then what are you doing to your temple? We have one body and one life. So when we're given this body in this human flesh form, we are in control of how we manage it, how we maintain it, how we take care of it. So if we don't actually, if you don't actually take care of your temple, then what do you think you're doing to it? You're breaking it down. Exactly. You're breaking it down. So it's like, if you're not taking it and being intentional about taking care of yourself, it's not going to work. So taking the time to make yourself a priority, but making sure that you're prioritizing your own needs, desires, and goals. I'm going to say that again. Making sure you take the time to prioritize your own needs, desires, and goals. A lot of times, everyone takes over for everyone else, but then they do not think about themselves. They end up putting themselves last. So when you have many hats, and for women, we have different hats that we wear. So we're a woman, that takes a lot. You know, every challenge in life, from whether you are a mother, whether you're not a mother yet, still just being a woman, our body, our emotions, our physical being, it goes through a lot of different changes. Then if you're a mom, then you're a mom. Then if you're a career woman, you're a career woman. I was a veteran woman, I was a military woman, I was a mom, I was a wife, I was a girlfriend, I was a lot of different titles. So we hold a lot of different titles, but we'll put everything else in front of us. Our own needs, our own desires, and our own goals, they get pushed to the wayside. I know for me, when I was in the military, I worked 10 to 12-hour days. Then I would have to come home. Then I would have to feed my son, do homework, prepare him for bed. And then it was like, then I got to clean up the kitchen, shower. By that time, it was like, I didn't even have a me time. How many people can resonate with that? Like, can you like, girl, that's my life right now. And I feel like my head is spinning, right? So if you are resonating with that, it's because you put yourself last. And it's time that we reverse that, to learn how to put yourself first. So you matter, and you deserve to be loved the way that you love others. And that's the most important part, where I want to tell you guys, is that you have to make sure that you love you and you matter. I don't know the last time. I want you to sit and think about it and resonate. When is the last time someone told you that you matter? Like, really think about it. When is the last time someone told you they love you? And if it's recent, if it's today, like, give yourself a hug on that. You feel me? You want to make sure, like, that means you have people that they're expressing, they're communicating, they are showing that love and support that you too have to give to yourself. If you resonated on that question and you're like, man, I haven't heard that in I don't know how long, it's okay, because Nat Martin's telling you today that you matter. You matter, and I love you. I don't care if the world did not say they love you. I love you. So I want you to take them words today, and you make sure, you know what? If somebody say, when the last time someone said it? Like, Coach Nat told me that last night. She told me that I matter and that she loves me. And guess what? You're going to start telling yourself that every day, because you're still on the part of why it's important to put yourself first. Like, you're going to definitely let yourself know. So we're going to do a reverse psychology. Why don't people put themselves first? Right? I told you why it's important to, but like, why is this a hot topic as to why they don't? Well, putting yourself at the bottom is on your priority list. Like, you are taught not to make yourself a priority. And literally think about it. It doesn't matter what color skin you are. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. If you're in the generations that's not the new age kids right now, you were taught to not make yourself a priority. And you're probably like, what? My mother didn't say, don't make yourself a priority. This is how it was taught to us. When you were born, you were learning how to walk, right? You had responsibility. You were trying to play and everything. The moment you got a sibling, what did your parents say? Be a big brother, be a big sister. Now you over here still trying to navigate and learn how to walk and figure out life as a kid. but now you have responsibility. Now you're responsible for someone else. And then if you have multiple siblings, and if you're the oldest, you could never put yourself first, because guess what? You're going to get in trouble if they get in trouble. So our parents didn't come out and say, you know, you need to not put yourself as a priority, but in the sense of how we were raised in the times that we have came up, that's kind of the message that was received. So then it was also neglecting yourself in favor of others. We will neglect ourselves to give everybody else our last. And again, tell me if this resonates with you guys. Think about it, because you're like, dang, you're right. You give your kids your all, you give your husbands your all, you give your wives your all, you give your boyfriends, your girlfriends your all, you give your job. Some of y'all give your job more than you give your family. So if you give your job your all and then give your family your all, what else do you have left? You don't have much left to give. Another reason why people don't put themselves first is because of a selfish mindset. If you put you first, people are going to call you selfish, right? And we're here today to cancel it. That is not the mindset. It's not being selfish. Putting yourself first is selfless. It's not selfish. So you want to be selfless because you want to care about you that much that you put yourself first. Because think about it in this way. If you don't put yourself first, who will put you first? Think about it. Who's going to put you first? You have to put yourself first. I'll give you an example. Kanye West. Kanye going to be Kanye, but Kanye going to be Ye all day. He's going to put himself first. He believes in himself so much that people take it as arrogance and they say, oh, he just thinks about self. No, he thinks about himself because it's his whole being. Now, he has other, character traits that he can work on communication and everything else. But as far as being like, what is my goal, setting them and what do I want? He definitely has that down pat to make sure that he puts himself first for what he's trying to achieve. Another excuse that people say about why they don't put themselves first is not having enough time in their day. So I believe we all have the same 24 hours. It's a matter of utilizing time management skills to make sure that you are effective and efficient in the time that you were granted. So if you sleep for 8 hours, if you work for 8 hours, that's 16 hours, right? Then you got to commute. We got to eat. You got to prepare, shower. That could be a total of another 8 hours. So guess what? Where was the time for you? Because in that last set of 8 hours, you also got to pick up the kids. You got to go grocery shopping. You got to do all the other stuff. So we have to figure out how to get more time back in your day by collapsing time. Because you have the time, it's about putting yourself as a priority. When you prioritize yourself, then guess what? It's going to get done. The same way you make it a priority, like, okay, I have to go to work from 8 to 5. So you set your alarm for 6:37. Same thing. You have to make yourself a priority. And the last reason why people don't put themselves first is because they lack self-worth and value. They lack self-worth and value. And you're probably like, Nat. They're like, Nat. They're like, what do you mean? So lack self-worth and value. The thing is this, you really want to take a deep dive into work and you want to ask yourself, do I value myself as much? Because what we do is we put people on pedestals and we put value on other people more than we put on ourselves. So we say, oh, I'm valuable. Oh, I'm worthy. Oh, I'm good. I have so much self-worth. I have so much confidence. I can do it, right? But it's one thing to say it. And then there's another thing to actually believe it and implement it and execute it. When you believe it and you implement it in your life and you execute it, guess what? It shows, it's a part of you. And then you will be putting yourself first because it will become automatic. So we're going to work on it, but I wanted to just, and there's so many other reasons why people make excuses for why they don't put themselves first. But those was about the top heavy hitters that I wanted to address. And I want you to know that self-care isn't selfish. That's going to be the key mantra of the day. Self-care isn't selfish. Self-care isn't selfish. Like, I want you guys saying that when you're going to work, when you're waking up, when you're going to sleep, self-care isn't selfish. Self-care isn't selfish, because I wanted you to embed it into your mind and program it to yourself so that you know that what you about to embark on and the journey that you're about to go down, nobody's going to come in and disturb your peace, because it's not selfish and they're not going to project. And I'll tell you what projecting is. So one of the questions is like, Nat, you told me why it's important to put yourself first. You told me all the reasons why people don't put themselves first, but how do I do it? This is how you do it, guys. You're going to start with dedicating 15 minutes a day to yourself. I want you to think about your calendar. If you have your phones, look at your calendar on your phone. Just look at your schedule. You have a doctor's appointment, you put it on your calendar. Your kids got to be picked up at a time, you put it on your calendar. You have a Beyonce's concert, it's on the calendar. Like, you're going to identify all the things that you need to do, and it's going to be on that calendar. But when you look at your calendar, where is the time for yourself? So I'm going to teach you how to start 15 minutes a day. Some people might say, you might already be implementing this in your life, and that is great. But for the people that have not scheduled time for themselves, we're going to start small, because I believe this: when you start small, you create habits. In order to create a habit, it takes 21 days. In order to create a lifestyle, it takes 90. So I want you to make it a part of your lifestyle. I want you to make sure that you are not just starting and stopping. You want to make sure that when you implement these tools and these techniques, this is something that you have to train your body, your mind. It's your thoughts that's going to control your actions, which is going to control your behaviors. So dedicate the 15 minutes a day. You're going to actually allocate it on your calendar. If you're already doing 15 minutes, then I want you to double it. I want you to do 30 minutes. So go ahead and put it on your calendar. And when you put it on that calendar, you mark it as such. Self-care isn't selfish. If you need to remind yourself that self-care isn't selfish, and at that time, when that alarm go off to say you have to take care of yourself right now, I want you to drop everything else and you focus only on you. This is how you start to implement it into your life. The next thing you're going to do is be kind to yourself. You're going to work on your self-talk. You have positive self-talk and you can have negative self-talk. Everybody always talks about the positive. A lot of people, they get scared of the negative. I am here to help you with both. I am the light to help you out your darkness, but baby, I'm telling you that I also know that you can go dark. So that means I'm okay with going in the dark with you and bringing you back out. But I'm going to teach you how to get yourself back out when it goes dark. And the first thing is you're going to train yourself to be kind to yourself. And you're like, Nat, I don't treat myself bad. I treat myself good. It's not about the physical. I'm tapping into your emotional and your mental space and your spiritual space right now. The physical, yes, you get your nails done, you get your hair done, you look presentable, you got nice clothes, that's the physical. But we're going to go deep. We're going to go in. We're going to go inward so that we can tap in. How do you talk to yourself nice? I'm going to give you an example so that whenever it appears, you'll identify as such. When you have a friend, we all have at least one friend. If you talk to your friend and she's like, girl, or guy, if it's a guy, because I have men on here too, they're going out. You're going out. Mostly girls will say, how do I look? If you're like, girl, you look good, you start pouring into her. Like, oh, you look good. This outfit is bomb. You're going to kill them, right? You start embracing, affirming them. You start pouring into them. And for my guys, you're like, all right, bro, I see you, because guys, they got to do it a little laid back a little bit. But you start affirming them and letting them know how good they look and how they like, oh, they just about to take it over. Everybody going to want pictures with them, right? Think about yourself. When you get dressed and you're about to go out to say the same event, you look yourself in that mirror or you take the picture with your phone and then you start to beat yourself down. Oh my goodness, look at my hair. Oh, I don't like that. I got a bump on my face. Oh my gosh. You start to tear yourself apart instantaneously. That is where I talk about self-talk. It's the inner dialogue within yourself. It's that voice that you hear in your head. And again, it can come up as positive self-talk or it can come up as negative self-talk. But what we got to do is make sure that we control it to be positive self-talk and that we reframe when we hear the negative come up. But the only way to combat the negative is that when you start practicing it daily and consistently, guess what? Now, when the negative come, you're already used to saying positive self-talk to yourself. So now you're like, wait a minute, that's not true. I am beautiful. Like, wait a minute, hold up. Because it'll come up like, oh, I look ugly. That's the negative self-talk. You have to stop it, reframe it. I am beautiful. I am not ugly. I am beautiful. So you have to reframe it when you hear it. But the only way that you're going to know when negative self-talk come up is by continuously, consistently doing positive self-talk every day. Now, this one, some of y'all might get mad about. You might get mad about this one. You got to be mindful of your consumption. Social media. And I'm on it, y'all. I'm on all platforms. I'm everywhere, right? But how much consumption are you taking in each day? And when you're on the social media platforms, what type of consumption are you taking in? Is it adding value to your life? Is it giving you information to help you grow and become the best version of yourself? Or is it distracting you from doing the things that you're supposed to be doing? Is it negative things? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling sad? Like, these are all the emotions and things that you got to start being conscious about. You got to start being, being intentional with, being mindful as to what does social media bring? Because I hear it all the time. People say, oh, social media is bad. Oh, this and that. Well, it's not bad. It's about you lacking self-discipline. It's about you making sure that you're not on there consuming all day. It's about putting yourself on a time limit. It's about, and the phone actually can do that. You can do screen time. It tracks it for you to know how much time are you on these platforms. So it's about incorporating self-discipline, reframing, and changing your habits. So another thing is also food and people. When it comes to the food, what you eat and what you put in your body, what you digest, it becomes a part of you. So I'm not out here to tell you that you need to be vegan or anything like that, right? And it's nothing wrong with vegans. I'm just saying that's something that a lot of people are going plant-based or vegan. So it's like, if that's not what you're trying to do, don't go extreme. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna be a vegan tomorrow. No. What I'm saying is that watch the types of foods that you're putting in your body, even the drinks. So are you eating a lot of fast foods? Are you eating a lot of fatty foods? Are you eating a lot of fried foods? Those are type of foods that's not going to be conducive to your health to keep you with clarity. Now your brain's going to be bogged down. You're going to be lethargic. You're going to be tired. So you want to make sure that you're eating high vibrational food. And I know we all low vibrational, high vibrational, but it is a true thing. You want to make sure you're getting your fruits, your greens. You want to make sure that you're getting at least 2 to 3 servings of your fruits and greens minimum a day, because it's fueling your brain, it's fueling your body. So it's like, at the minimum, I have my cookies. Like I like cookies. My cookies, I gotta have my cookies. I have to have my little snack, but I have it in moderation. I can't just eat the whole pack, which I probably can if I allow myself, but I got to have it in moderation. But because I have it in moderation, I also have my blueberries today. I also had some blackberries today. So it's like, you have to make sure. And then the other one is people. You want to make sure consumption of people, the people that you're around, the people that you're talking to, the people that consumes your day. Are they adding value or are they distracting? Are they actually about something? Because we'll have people around us be like, oh, we grew up with them. That's my cousin. We grew up together. That's my friend. We grew up together. That's great. You grew up together. So keep growing together. like keep growing up together. And that's the part where you want to make sure you understand that you grew up together. It's not just to adulthood. We still growing up because we're evolving into becoming the best version of ourselves. And to do that, sometimes you got to let things go. And sometimes it is people. So not to say that we don't love our people, but when you're evolving and going to another level, if they're not growing up with you, then guess what? You got to keep going, because you cannot have people get stagnant. And I'm explaining it in a way of this. It's not that you're going to go past people. It's not that you're better than people. It's that you are on an assignment. And if you're going to be obedient, I'm going to say it again, obedient. If you're going to be obedient to your purpose and your assignment, that they may not be on an assignment with you. They was assigned to grow up to that level with you. And now you got to keep going. Someone else is going to be assigned to take the rest. And then some people are assigned for that lifetime. They rolling, baby. They growing with you. And those people, you want to keep them around. You want to keep those people that's growing as you're growing. You want to keep those people around. But you don't want to keep anybody around that's going to keep you stagnant. You definitely don't want that. Now, rest. You want to make sure you go to sleep. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and I'm not targeting entrepreneurs, but modern day, especially after pandemic entrepreneurs, is grind, team no sleep. And it's like, no, ma'am, no, sir. You need your rest. Yes, we're going to get to the grind. Yes, we're going to get to the bag. Yes, we're going to do all of that. But you cannot do it if you're not well rested. If you're not well rested, you're not going to be able to function. You're going to not have enough clarity. Your mental clarity is going to be bogged down. You're not going to be efficient. You're not going to be effective, and you're not going to be productive. And that's whether you're an entrepreneur or you have a job. Whatever you're trying to get done, it's just not going to get done. And when it comes to sleep, it doesn't mean you have to have 8 hours of sleep. You can get 3 hours of sleep and be well rested. If you have a Fitbit or some type of watch, you can track it. If you go to REM, during that time, you can wake up well rested and ready to go. But you don't know that unless you're tracking it. So you do want to give yourself the adequate amount of time for you to go to sleep and rest. But prepare your sleep station for a conducive environment for that. And what I mean by that is sleep hygiene. You want to make sure you incorporate, reducing the blue light, like your phones. You want to make sure you get off of your devices 30 minutes before going to bed. Start to prepare your body to shut down your brain so you can rest. You want to treat yourself, and you want to discover what matters to you. The discover what matters to you is like so vital and important, because in order to put yourself first and make yourself a priority, you got to first know what matters to you. What is important to you? Why are you doing the things you're doing? Like, some people are miserable right now because they're working in jobs that they don't want to do. They're in marriages, relationships with people they don't even like. And it's like, but Nat, why can't they just get out? They can, but because they didn't make themselves a priority, they are still choosing to settle because this is what they know. People get afraid to get uncomfortable. The moment that you get comfortable with being uncomfortable is the moment you would change your life forever. And when you really embrace it, no one can stop you from anything. Because once you master that concept, it's game over. So really, before, like, implement the other tools and techniques, but really sit with yourself and really analyze, like, what is it that I want from my life? What is it that what are my goals? And not in a sense of, oh, I want to get a car, I want to get a house, I want to get a degree. No, that is tangible items that are just tentative things to get you going, to get you to a milestone. Your purpose and your assignment is bigger than that. It's bigger. I want y'all to say bigger, like, say it. It's bigger. It's bigger than that. Because yes, you're going to get to those actionable steps of obtaining a degree, getting a promotion, starting your business, getting a house, getting a better credit score. Those are tangible, actionable things that you're going to be able to achieve. And I claim that for all of you. However, to discover what really matters to you is, like, for me, time freedom. That matters the most. It's my number one thing for my life, is that I have to have control of my time. And guess what? Time is something that we can't even control. Get that, right? So if I know that time is the most valuable currency there is, a lot of people running after money. Oh, I want to get $1 million. Oh, I want to do that. I want to be able to control my time. Time freedom is so valuable to me. So I make sure that I have to do things in place that I can have that time freedom. So I know what matters to me. So you got to think about what matters to you. So that's the example: time freedom, financial freedom. But then you got to sit deep and don't just keep it on the surface. I know, and I'm gonna give you the example again, so you can hear the example. So when you go through the exercise, you can identify it for yourself. Time freedom is important to Nat Martin because after serving 20 years in the military, where someone had to tell me what to do, how to do it, and where to go when they wanted me to, and I had no control, I no longer want to be in bondage that way. So when people say, Nat, you should do this, and if it comes with anything that looks like bondage, I don't subscribe to it because it goes against what matters to the most to me. And that's that time freedom. Now that I am retired and released from the military, I have control of my time. So I knew that that was the most important thing. So I had to put goals in place in order to make that happen. So it's not going to happen overnight. So if you say financial freedom or establishing, your financial household, understand that once you identify what matters the most to you, then we can break it down as to what is needed, those tangible goals as to what's needed to get there. So when you put yourself first, because you already know why it's important. You know why we make all the excuses. I just told you how. So that's just some of the tips and tools of how to incorporate it. But when you actually do it, the outcome is going to be, you're going to be more in control of your life than you've ever been before. When you get a taste of control and actually like real control of your life, being able to go where you want to go, do what you want to do on your terms. The key is on your terms. You're going to be empowered to make decisions that's best for you. Is this best for me? Is this best for me and my household? Now, when you start to think of it in that way, like, okay, if this is not best for me and my household, then I don't do it. And you would remove yourself from it. This is going to also help you create healthier relationships with others. You're like, how do putting me first help me create healthier relationships with others? Because when other people see that you value you, they will value you more. When they see that you have respect for you, they're going to respect you more. When they see that you are taking time for yourself, they're not going to be able to play with your time. You understand how that works? So now the toxic relationships that were in your life, they're going to go by the wayside. You're going to start attracting healthier relationships. You're going to start having healthier people around you, people that value their time just as much. So they're going to be like, girl, I'm not about to waste your time because I know I don't want nobody wasting my time. Versus people that have toxic or don't care. They're like, I don't care about your time. Well, if you don't care about my time, I care about my time. So you have to make sure you disconnect from toxicity and you start, but by putting you first, you will have a aura about yourself. You will start walking in a different way with a standard because you're not going to be able to tolerate anything beneath it. You're also going to be able to clearly communicate your boundaries and your intentions. When you start to really clarify, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to be? What is it that I want to, how do I want to treat myself? Because I always tell people when they're like, oh, this person did this to me. No, they only did it to you because you allowed it. They only did it to you because they allowed it. Had you had clear boundaries in place, clear intentions, had you started carrying yourself at a higher standard where you don't tolerate certain things, they wouldn't have tried it. So they can only do what you allow. So now I train people how they're going to interact with me. Like I train them how they're going to interact with me. And you're like, what? Yes. And guess what? You'll have people that will try to mishandle you. You'll have people you're going to always have that 1, 2, or 3. But when they come around, they know don't play around. You know what I'm saying? So there's people where my presence, they're like, I'm not messing with her. But they'll go pull the okie doke on the person standing next to me. And they'll be like, why they didn't say that to you? Because the way I carry myself, I value me too much to play games. What's the saying? We quit school because we don't play recess, or whatever the saying is. I don't got time to play on the playground. So when you carry yourself as such, those type of people and energies will not even come. And if they come, it's coming to test you to see, do you really value yourself as much as you say you do? Do you really love yourself as much as you say you do? Because especially for my ladies, hear me clear. A man will test you wholeheartedly. If you don't value yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't create clear boundaries and intentions, they will try to come and walk all over you. They will try to come and mishandle you. And then the only person that allowed it was you. So when I'm telling you guys that by putting yourself first, by operating in a higher frequency, by actually making sure that you care about you more than anybody else in this world care about you, people will start to come at you differently. The conversations will be different. The interactions will be different. The attraction will be different. And that's not just for relationships. That's for partnerships, friendships, family ships, any ship that will work on. And if they ain't with it, then those ships can sail away because you are in control of you. This is the part about putting yourself first. So I need you guys to start operating at a higher frequency so that you can be the best version of yourself. Because if you did an audit on yourself right now and put it in the chat, if you do an audit on yourself, are you operating at 100% the best version of yourself? Like, what percentage do you think you're operating at? 100% meaning I am the best version of myself that I can be at this moment, right? If you know deep down inside, I am not. I got some work to do. I am not. I'm operating at 50%. I let people, because again, this is what it looks like. Are you a people pleaser? You let people just control your day. They telling you what you're going to do. And you're so afraid to say no. That's just like, yes. And now you're burned out. You're overwhelmed. You're overworked, right? Because you're a people pleaser. So you're not operating at your highest self, because when you start to operate your higher frequency, we don't let people control our day because we know what matters to us. So we won't allow it. So those are the examples of what that looks like. Now you're going to say, well, Nat, how do I know when I start doing this? How do I know that, like, how can I sustain it? Like, which way, what can I do? This is what you're going to do. You're going to make a commitment statement to yourself. You have to commit to yourself that this is what you want to do. Because you can come to me and say, Nat, Coach Nat, listen, girl, I'm working on me. I'm doing it. And I can be like, yes, let's go. However, I don't know if you're giving me that 100%. I don't know if you're giving me all that you're saying you're giving me. But do you know who knows? You. You know if you're giving that 100%. You know if you're giving your all. So you're going to fail you. But this is what I want you to do. So you're going to repeat after me. I am 100% committed to improving my life. I am taking daily action to live on purpose and in purpose to operating in the best version of myself. Take a screenshot of that, you guys. Take a screenshot of that, and I'm going to repeat it again. I am 100% committed to improving my life. I am taking daily action to live on purpose and in purpose to operating in the best version of myself. You say that in the morning. You say that in noontime. You say that at night. You are committing to yourself because guess what's happening? You're going to start programming yourself and telling your brain that, yes, I am committed to myself. Yes, I am improving my life. Yes, I am taking daily action. Yes, I'm living on purpose and purpose. Yes, I'm operating in the best version of myself. So guess what? When those negative self-talks come up, when the limits and beliefs come up, when other people projecting their insecurities on you come up, this is how you train yourself to block the noise. When I tell myself I'm 100% committed to improving my life, I can't let nobody come in here and take that away from me. I'll be lying to myself, so don't lie to yourself. This is how it's you versus you. When I tell people I am not in competition with no one else but me, this is my commitment statement. We may be doing the same things. We may be looking like we're going down the same path. I don't know where you're going because I know what matters to me. So I need you to know what matters to you. It don't matter if they in the same industry I'm in. So what? Oh, but they got support. So what? Oh, but they got the resources. So what? You know who you got? You got you. You know who I got? I got me. And guess what? When you start showing up and operating a higher frequency and the best version of yourself, you know what comes with that? Attraction. Healthier relationships, healthier partnerships, the resources, the finances, everything will start to come. But when you stay focused on your commitment to you, nothing else will come in the way. Nothing else will come in the way. You'll have days where you feel like it's short. When you got those days where you're feeling, Nat, it's just, I'm not feeling it today. That's when you say this even more. You say this 5 times a day. You can even screenshot this, put this as your screensaver, and make sure you just say that, say it. Because you gotta put that in your mind. You gotta program yourself to know that it don't matter. You are committing to you. That is your commitment statement to self. Now, here are some self-reflection questions. What do you want to accomplish that you failed to take any action toward? Hear me clear. What is it that you wanted to accomplish that you failed to take any action toward? I'll give you an example. Now, I'm telling on myself, y'all. I'm telling on myself because I can hold myself accountable to the things that I have lacked to do. So one of the goals that I have failed to take any action towards is my podcast. I told y'all the podcast is coming. I have failed to take any action towards it. The second part of that question is why? Why is because I did not make it a priority. You see how that sounds? I can't sit here and say, well, because somebody didn't tell me how to do this. And no, I didn't make it a priority. So if I didn't make it a priority, it don't come to the top of the list. It don't get done. So I want you guys to really think like, okay, what is it something I wanted to accomplish that I did not take no action towards? Write that down. Because guess what? You about to start taking action towards it. So write that down. Number 2, what are your biggest obstacles to achieving your goals? Like what is in the way? What is stopping you from getting to where you're supposed to be at? What is stopping you? What is in the way? Is it like I got some people saying, oh, my kids. Not that you don't like your kids, probably, you don't have any help so that you help with the kids so you can do that. So if that's the obstacle, write it down. I want you to see what your obstacles are. I want you to see what you did not take action on. I want you to see what your obstacles are. Whatever the biggest, not all of them, the biggest. What is that one thing that is like in the way where you're like, dang, it's stopping me. I want to see it. I want to hear it. And then, okay, this is good. Somebody put in the chat, me. Most of the times, you are the biggest obstacle that's stopping you. You are the biggest obstacle that's in the way. And I'm glad that you put that in the chat. Thanks for sharing, because guess what? Now you're going to ask yourself this question. What can I do to overcome that obstacle? So whatever the obstacle was that you wrote down, now you're going to say, okay, what can I do? If it's you in a way, how do I move myself out the way? What can I do to remove myself out the way? And write it down, because when you write it down, you see it. You see it. It's clear. Boom, boom, boom. Now, the third question is, what are all the resources I have available to me? This one is something that a lot of us miss out on, because we get tunnel vision where we're focusing on the problem that we don't see anything else. We can't see lateral. We're not looking to see like what's to the left and right of us. So we don't know that there's resources around. So I want you to really sit and think, what are all the resources that you have available? Don't think about, well, if I get funding or I can try to go get, no, not try to go get. What do you have right now available? I gave y'all the example for my goal was that I have not taken any action on a podcast. So an example for that would be, what are the resources that I have available? I already have the mic. Okay. I already have the headset. Okay. So it's like, all right, I got those already. I already have the YouTube channel set up. So it's like, guess what? It's sounding like, damn, that you got a lot of stuff going there. So it's like, now we're going to get to what we have and start to use the things that you have, and it will bring you to the things that you need. But we normally focus on what we don't have, and we don't ever look at what we do have, because some of the resources that we do have, it can lead you. Another thing is, guess what? I'm in a group with a lot of individuals that they got podcasts. So that's a resource. You got to think outside the box of not just you. Resources are all around you. So it's a matter of making sure you're looking at all of them and getting out the tunnel, because we can get tunnel vision on what we don't have. So how do we apply it, Nat? So it's application time. How you start to put everything together and apply it is, one, you got to start with forgiving yourself. You have to give yourself permission to put yourself first. And I know you're like, wait, you told me it's important to, but none of it's going to work if you don't forgive yourself for not putting yourself first and giving yourself permission and grace to do it. So if you have been raised a certain way of, if you put yourself first, it's selfish. If that was the type of upbringing or the mantra, like, oh, you thinking about yourself, only yourself. So in your inside your subconscious mind, you're going to be thinking, oh man, people going to think I'm being selfish. So this is the step where you got to do inner work. You got to do some inner work, and you got to do some shadow work, where you might have to go back to that time in your life where whoever said it, we got to revisit that, and we got to heal that and work on that and reframe that and forgive ourselves, sister, and forgive them, because they don't know no better. It's a lot of things that we were doing because it was generation and generation and generation. But you know what else gets passed down from generation and generation and generation? Generational curses. So everybody say, well, that's tradition. My mama did it. My grandmama did it. My great grandmama did it. Okay. But you also know what else happened to your great grandmama, your grandmama, and your mama? Generational curses. This is when you say generational curses stop with me. It went through all of them, but it stops here. How do you do that? Is you got to go back and do the work. You got to heal. You got to forgive them. You got to forgive yourself. You got to give yourself grace, and you got to go from there. Number 2 is setting aside the time for yourself to relax. You got to set and schedule time for self-care, and you got to schedule time to pursue your passions. Like, none of it's going to happen if you don't make it happen. This is when you get intentional with application and execution time. This is when you actually schedule that 15 minutes on your calendar, schedule that meditation, schedule that spiritual bath, schedule that. And I know for my people that use the excuse, Nat, I don't have enough time. I got to get here. I got to get there. You got time, sis. You got time, sis. When you get to your house, sit in the car for 15 minutes before anybody knows that you're even there. Make that your 15 minutes. You're in a car, turn off the phone and just sit. If that's what you have to do, then we start there. But I want you to incorporate it. Don't not do it because you don't know where to start. I'm telling you how to start. Number 3, you have to be conscious of the way you are speaking to yourself and to others. How you speak to yourself is the most important thing ever. But you also have to be mindful of how you speak to others. Because just because, oh, it's the truth and I said what I said, because we heard it, I said what I said is the thing, right? But it's how you said it. And guess what? Now you're healing yourself to become the best version of yourself by putting yourself first. But we don't want to project or do things to others that they're going to have to heal from. So you got to be conscious of the way that you speak. And because again, this is going to be work. You got to work at it. So if you mess up, give yourself grace. Apologize, forgive yourself, grace, and you become better the next day. This is how it's the you versus you. Today I slipped, man, this and that. You was in Walmart, the girl, the cashier, she was pushing your buttons and you just boomed, right? But you know that, you don't want to curse the girl out. That's not who you are 99% of the time. But she caught you slipping because you was having a rough day and that 1% came out and you just boomed on her, right? You just blew up. You can fix that. You say, you know what? You can catch yourself in a moment. By doing all of these applications, you can catch yourself in a moment and you say, sis, I apologize. And she might be having a rough day and she might be really, really pulling you, but you are in control of you and you are trying to manage your emotions and making sure that you don't allow nobody to pull you to the unhealed version of you. I'm going to say that again. You don't give anyone your power to take you back to the unhealed version of you. And if it comes up and surfaces up, that's just a message and a download to say that you have more work to do in that area, more healing. So it's not, oh, I messed up. Don't beat yourself down. Forgive, give grace, and get to work. The last one is you got to thank yourself. You got to thank yourself for all that you are and all that you're destined to be. Thank yourself. Because who you are today, you prayed for yesterday. Who I am today, I prayed for years to be this woman I am today. The woman that you see, Coach Nat Martin, I prayed for years to be retired from the military. It didn't just happen. I didn't walk in the door and say, let me get that retirement. Let me see what it looked like. I had to do 20 years, hard work and labor. And at one point, it was about to be impossible. They were about to put me out. I prayed to be where I'm at today. So now that I'm here, we forget that at one point in time, we weren't who we were today. So the version of who you are today, you prayed for her or him yesterday. And now you're still evolving. So you still praying, becoming who you're destined to be. So always remember, you're not who you was, but you are who you are. And you're walking into who you're destined to be. Don't let anyone take you back or take that from you. So when you do all of these things together, right? You're like, what does it look like? How does that show up? This is how it shows up. You're going to be a better communicator. You're going to communicate with everyone. Your children, your family, your coworkers, your business partners, people that you don't know that you met at the gas station. You're going to be able to be an effective communicator because now you can express things that you like, things that you don't, clear your boundaries. You can do all of that. Self-confidence, the way that you're going to walk, the way that you're going to talk, the way that you carry yourself is going to elude differently. Because now you got a different glow about yourself. Now you're going to have a different swag about yourself because you are like, man, I'm feeling myself, right? You're going to also have increased productivity because now you're putting you first. The moment that you decided to put you first and you started implementing these self-care and these tools and these techniques, it opened up space that now when you go to the job, when you go work on your business, when you go with the kids, with the hubby or whoever, you are able to get things done faster. You're more productive. So it was taking you this amount of time to get something done. But now when you're in a different space and operating in a different frequency, you can get it done faster. You can get it done faster. And then happiness. Like happiness looks different on everybody, but happiness is not a destination. It's not somewhere that you go. The only place that you go for happiness is within. So your happiness within is like you have to create it. Everybody say, I want to be happy. I mean, Kirk Franklin has a song, I just want to be happy. But what does that mean? What does that look like for you? I want you to, all of this, I want you to see yourself as that self-confident being. I want you to see yourself as that happiest person. What does happy look like for you? I tell people all the time, I'm the happiest when I'm around water. I'm the happiest. Like you could be talking to me. I don't know what you'll be saying to me because I won't be there mentally. I'm the happiest. I'm at peace. So know you're happy. It's not smiling. Happy is not smiling, right? It's your inside. What when you feel it, like, you know, it's been a moment in your life where you felt that happiness. I need you to go back to that time so that you can create that emotion, that feeling. You want to feel that. That's what you're going to create. Now, I want to tell you about somebody, one of my clients. I have this female, Monica. She's one of my clients, and this doing these techniques, incorporating this into her life. She recently started to practice self-care. She put herself first, and it made a huge difference in her life. She's more productive, happier, and she's able to better handle stress. That is huge. That is huge. Being able to manage stress, because stress can kill you guys. Stress can kill. So to hear her say, like, man, I'm able to, because she said she used to always be stressed out. She also said taking the time to focus on her needs and well-being has given her the strength and energy to tackle the other parts of her life with ease. She is so grateful that she made the decision to prioritize her self-care. This is what this is going to look like. But I could tell you one thing, it didn't start from day one. She had to get there and start continuously. She had to get there and do it daily. She had to get there and really put in some work. And every day was not the best day, and every day was not a great day, but it was worth it. So what is next, right? So what's next for you? The next steps is this. You want to create a plan of action. We talked about some key component things of what you need to do. Everybody's plan of action is going to be different. So it's not cookie cutter. I tell people your transformation is your transformation. When I transform lives, your transformation is not going to look like my transformation. And this person's transformation is not going to look like that person's transformation. Everybody's journey is different. And that's what makes it so special and unique, that you are on your journey. You're focused on putting you first. We're not worried about what everybody else is doing. So your plan of action can be, you might have to work on time with forgiving yourself, where somebody else might be working on just allocating the time, where that might be a struggle point for them. So everybody's plan of action is going to be different, because what matters to you most is going to be different. Now you're going to create a timeline with deadlines. We're going to hold ourselves accountable, because accountability, self-accountability will get you so far. But then when you actually have accountability coach, someone that can actually hold you accountable to meeting your goals and saying and helping you, because it's not about like, hey, did you do this? That's cool. But it's like, if you didn't do it, what were the obstacles in place? Having that accountability coach to say, okay, let me guide you to that. Let me guide you through that. Let's see how we can overcome that obstacle together. Because when you're doing it by yourself, it can feel taunting. It can feel like, I can't do it. That negative self-talk will creep up and start talking you out of it, right? But then when you got the coach on the side to say, hey, what's going on? You're like, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't know. Then I can say, okay, well, let's take a look at it. 2 people or more is better than 1. So that's what's going to happen. And then we're going to be able to gather some resources that's needed. Everybody's resources are going to be different depending on what the goals are. But at the end of the day, resources is the best thing. I always tell people that the one thing that I think kept me going for years is that as a single mom, you become very resourceful. And you have to, because things can happen and change instantaneously. And then you have to figure it out. You don't have no other option. So single moms and so all moms, whether you have a husband and a mate, but single moms, we really be having to come through and be a superhero. Like, and honestly, for all moms, we got to be a nurse, a chef. It's a lot of things that we didn't go to school to do that. We just had a child. Now we became masters of all these different things. But now you don't have to be a master of everything, because we're going to give you resources to try to take your time back that can help you in all different areas. And then the last one, of course, you can work with the coach. You can work with Coach Nat Martin. So, because I know some people probably got anxiety already, like, oh my gosh, how I'm supposed to do this by myself? This is why I joined the call, because I'm a little overwhelmed. I feel lost. I feel confused. I just need some help, coach. Well, I am available to you. You don't have to go on the journey alone. You actually have options and resources, and I'm going to share those resources with you. Some of the resources that you can tap in today. You can tap into some of these resources today. We have the accountability group. If you're like, okay, I'm kind of on my way and I'm able to start things, but once I get stuck, I don't know where to go. I wish I had a team. I wish I had like-minded individuals around me that can help guide me along the way. And then we have our 30-day Transform You boot camp. The boot camp is when you are very serious about that commitment statement. That commitment statement that you said earlier, like, I am 100% committed to myself to improving my life. This group is for you, where you don't, no excuses. You're ready to take action. You're ready to execute, but you also know, I need the help. You're raising that hand saying, I need the help. I want to do it along with the coach. I want to come with her team. I want to be with other individuals that's like me, that's trying to get to the next level, that just need a little extra guidance, right? This is the boot camp for you. Now, I know it say boot camp and y'all know I'm military, but it's going to be real deal Holyfield. Like, you're going to get a transformational boot camp. You're going to come in the way you are, and in 30 days, you're going to be transformed. You're going to leave steps closer to operating in a better version of yourself that you never even knew. And when I tell you, you're going to have a measurement tool to guide that. So it's not like, well, I think I know. You're going to measure it. You're going to come out with a strategy plan. We're going to do strategy sessions where you're not leaving out of this group confused or stuck or not knowing what to do next. This is the group that we get deep down into helping you achieve that goals. When you come out of the 30-day program, a transformation has happened for your mind, body, and spirit. And you're going to have the goals that you allocated that you wanted to finish in those 30 days. Some of the goals that you mentioned where you said, I didn't take no action. We're going to start right there. We're going to start with those, and we're going to get it done together. And so I want to give you guys the opportunity that if you're serious and committed to saying that, I need that, you can sign up today. You can go to www.natgirlboss.com and you can sign up today. When you go to natgirlboss.com, I have a special bonus because you joined the workshop. You get $100 off, and you're going to put the word workshop. But that is for today. You sign up for the 30-day Transform You Bootcamp. You'll be able to get $100 off. Use the word workshop at natgirlboss.com. And that's for the bootcamp. So I want you guys to, make the declaration, affirm yourself, and say you are no longer, waiting on others. You're putting yourself first, making yourself a priority because you deserve it and you're worth it. So I want you to show up as the version of you that you're supposed to show up as. So I'm going to go ahead. Let me stop sharing my screen. All right. And then I'm going to come on the camera. All right. So now you guys can see me. There we go. All right. So thank you guys for attending the Learn How to Put Yourself First workshop. You are amazing because you have made the first step of declaring and affirming to yourself that you want more for yourself. So I want to be the first person to say that you did it. You did it. You are putting the work in. You may think it's small, like, well, Nat, I just got on a Zoom call. Your brain has already told you, I want more. So you already started, you already did it. So I want to thank everybody for coming on a call. And again, if you have any questions, you can go to natgirlboss.com, join the email list as well. You can contact me on my help desk. Go to natgirlboss.com. There's a help desk. You can put a question in there and I will get it and I will be able to directly respond back to you. So make sure you do not delay your success because your success is in your hands. The only delay is you. So now is the time to remove you out the way and get to it. Thank you guys again for coming on the call, and I'm gonna open it up for any Q&A before we end. So if you have a question, you can just go ahead and unmute and ask your question.